All right, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to You Don't Know Ball. I had a fun, discussion-driven idea today. I'm thinking, let's discuss the best value, keyword, value, first-round picks over the last decade. So that doesn't mean the best pick in the first round. That means who got the best value on the first-round pick. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off here at the 2023 NFL Draft, this would be the first, maybe the only one, where I think it's really obvious who we're going with. And this is more off sample size than anything else. We would be remiss and insane not to say that CJ Stroud was the best value in last year's draft class. Again, the stats speak for themselves. Offensive Rookie of the Year, one of the greatest rookie quarterback seasons of all time. Led the Texans with no expectations to the second round of the playoffs. You can't do any more than that in your rookie year. CJ Stroud, phenomenal, and there's no doubt. For 2023, he had to be our best value first round selection. All right, on to the 2022 NFL Draft. And this one, definitely really tough. I could have gone a lot of different ways with this one. But what I ultimately decided on was that Trent McDuffie was the best value selected in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Already a two-time Super Bowl champ, one-time All-Pro, and that jump he made from that rookie to that sophomore year, a jump we rarely see, a humongous leap, becoming one of the best corners in the entire league, and I think he's going to stay one of the best corners for a long time given how young he is. With all that said, I feel like we couldn't go any other direction in terms of value in last year's first round. Let me know what you think in the comments. And then on to the 2021 NFL Draft. Again, another one where this one was really tough. A lot of different directions I could have gone with this one. But it's like, the more you look over this board, again, it kind of narrows down. Like, there's only one real selection on this one. And I'm going to tell you right now, once you see it, you won't unsee it. And that someone is Micah Parsons. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, been in running for Defensive Player of the Year ever since he came in the league, and he probably will take it soon enough here. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Micah Parsons consistently coming in the league, 13 sacks his rookie year when he was also doubling as an off-ball linebacker. Just the versatility, the skill set, the uniqueness. To me, there's no doubt. Micah Parsons, at the pick he was selected as far down as he was at 12 in that first round, no doubt about it. It's got to be the best value taken in the 2021 first round. And on to the 2020 NFL Draft. And honestly, this might have been the hardest one involved in to pick because we look through again, there are so many directions we could have gone with this one. So many guys that added so much value taken later than they should have been, right? But again, same as last year, you look over this board and sure enough, eventually someone will catch your eye where we could have never gone another direction than this. And that someone in this year's class was Justin Jefferson. 3-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro, former Offensive Player of the Year, and he would have been, again, another just incredible season this year if it wasn't for the injuries, but even in the only 9 games started, still pressed over 1,000 yards. Justin Jefferson, unguardable, and again, taken as late as he was in that first round, in the 20s, there's no doubt about it. He has to be the most valuable selection from the 2020 NFL Draft. All right, on to the 2019 NFL Draft class. I'm expecting some controversy over this one, because let me be clear right from the bat. There's a lot of directions we could have gone with this one. I might even be wrong on this one. This one, I take back what I said about earlier. This one is really the one where it was hardest to pick, because there are so many guys neck and neck. It's just, this year was really tough to pick. But who I ended up going with is Sexy Dexy Lawrence. Again, a guy taken towards the later midsection of that first round. 2-time second-team All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowl over the last 2 years, where the growth has really started to happen over the past 2 years. Even though he came in, was already a plug right away, now we're really starting to see that ceiling. Dexter Lawrence, one of the best D linemen in the entire league, an absolute force on that interior. And I think, again, given value in this year's class, Dexter Lawrence was just who I felt most comfortable going with, but there was definitely maybe more than one correct answer in the 2019 class. And on to the 2018 NFL Draft. I'm smirking because y'all already know, and if you don't know, you're going to laugh when you find out because it's just too obvious for this one. It's too obvious. Again, unless you didn't know what year he was drafted, I mean, we have to, come on. There was zero doubt that, regardless of all the other accolades, which I'll name as well, but Lamar Jackson, the 2-time MVP, I mean, come on now. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, former Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, come on, there is zero doubt about it. We knew, especially taken in the last pick of the first round, the historical slide that ended up, all these teams regret. There's no doubt about it. Lamar was for sure the guy from this year's class. And then on to the 2017 NFL Draft class, that smirk, I'm cheesing its back because y'all already know on this one. Come on. There was literally zero doubt about it. But let me be clear. What's funny is, too, normally if it wasn't for the gentleman I'm about to name, we got, Myles Garrett, we got TJ Watt. Like, there are some guys, man, here that really added a lot of value to their, to their team. Deshaun Watson. Like, we had a lot of guys where normally, Marshawn Lattimore, like, we could have gone a lot of different directions, right? But there's zero doubt about it. You knew it was Patrick Mahomes, and there's zero way I could go any other direction. It's undebatable. I mean, Pat just has so many accolades. I couldn't even memorize them all for y'all, so I'm just going to list them all right here with the list right in front of me. I mean, look, come on. The 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, there was no doubt about it. We already knew that. I just had to list the accolades because I do for everyone else. But we already knew. Pat Mahomes, man. On to the 2016 NFL draft class, where, again, another one where this one was really tough to decide which direction I wanted to go. But then as I took a look at the board, one guy definitely really stood out to me where I said, there's no way we can't go this direction. And the guy I'm referring to from the 2016 NFL draft class has got to be Kenny Clark. So minus that rookie year, where, again, barely any playing time, came in, just an absolute wrecker in that middle. And again, stats don't tell the whole story about Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is just a plug, very important to what Green Bay does down there. 3-time Pro Bowler, and ask any Packers fan, this defense is not the same without Kenny Clark out there. And again, taken in the back half of that first round, back and at pick 27, I felt given value, there's no way I couldn't go Kenny Clark. Let me know if I was wrong in the comments, though, again. On to the 2015 NFL draft class. I'm going to let y'all know in advance. This one is a little bit weird because it was really tough for me to pick. Guys who I would normally pick, they had their career just straight up basically shorted by injury. And if you know what I'm talking about, there's a few guys, but namely Todd Gurley. And with a lot of the other guys, it was kind of like, I didn't know what direction to go. This one was really a tough class where, again, could have gone definitely a few different directions. But what I settled on was Marcus Peters. And again, why I said it's kind of weird is because Marcus Peters definitely didn't produce all the way for the team that drafted him. And as a matter of fact, we can see right after 3 years, wasn't even on that same team anymore. But however, when we look at his accolades, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, I think it's hard to argue where Marcus Peters was taken in the back half of that first round that he wasn't the most valuable selection out of that 2015 NFL draft class. And again, let me be clear, this one was just really tough. Because there really wasn't the big, oh my goodness, guy taken in this year's class. Again, we go back, this was really a weird one where, and again, anybody outside the top 5, it's just, value wasn't really, it was just tough to figure out. And again, just another one. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. Because the 2015 draft class, honestly, kind of struggled picking this one. All right, now this one, the smirk is back. Because again, if y'all know, you already know. But I want to be clear, before we even get into it, this one, what's so interesting to me about this draft class, the 2014 class, is again, we look, and I want to be clear, I did not use this at all. And matter of fact, I actually didn't even notice it until today after I already made my list. I made my list yesterday, recorded it today. Point is, I didn't even notice they actually had a stat for keeping track of basically the drafted average value. Just, I don't know how they're calculating it, but the value you got on this player in the draft, right? And funny enough, right, we have Aaron Donald at 124, which he's our guy. There's no doubt about it. I'll even spoil it before we get to him. But it's funny because this, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm pretty positive I'm not, the only one where there's even more than one guy who added over 100 that we've seen so far. And besides, actually, I'll take that back. I think Mahomes was. But besides Mahomes, over 100, and there was 2 guys over 100 in this year's class, where again, normally Zach Martin would take this cake without even thinking about it. But he happened to share the same class with one of the greatest defenders, if not the greatest defender we've ever seen in the game, Aaron Donald. And again, to get into AD, we already know. I mean, the stats speak for themselves. Another guy with so many accolades, couldn't even memorize them all. We're just going to read the list. I mean, 10-time All-Pro, 8-time All-Pro, the Super Bowl champ, Hall of Fame, all 2010s team, amazing accomplishment, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, what more do you want? One of the greatest defenders we've ever seen, one of the greatest players we'll ever be graced with. And thank you, Aaron Donald. It was a pleasure to watch your career. Best of luck in retirement. All right, and to close us out, the finale, we got the 2013 NFL Draft class. And this is one where, honestly, we break down the list. We break down the board. I think you guys can already see the 2 guys that it narrows down to. However, this one is really tough because it's like, do we go with Lane, who was the 4th overall pick, who we know just added so much value to that Eagles O-line, a huge part of that Super Bowl team, Eagles legend forever. I feel like, though, when we look at the value, again, back to value, D-Hop at pick 27. I felt it was only right I gave DeAndre a bit of an edge over Lane, but let me be clear. This is one where if there was one today where we could draw a tie, I'm comfortable letting it be Lane Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins. That's totally fine. But again, we're just going to go D-Hop on this one because taking pick 27 much later, 23-hole picks later. And again, 5-time Pro Bowl, 3-time All-Pro. Kind of has fallen off here over these last few years, getting older, but at his peak, DeAndre Hopkins, unguardable, potential Hall of Fame talent. We all will always remember DeAndre Hopkins. And again, I'm only giving him the edge because of just that 23 pick gap. But regardless, Lane and DeAndre neck and neck in this one. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. We'd love to see you back. And like I said, leave a comment on this one. I think this one could definitely generate a lot of good discussion. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Did I really mess one up? Did I get them all right? Please let me know in the comments. Y'all have a great rest of your day.